Hello, so today we're going to start this crazy hair silly self-portrait, and it's going to be a mixture of paperwork and iPad selfies. So this is the part that we're going to start first, our drawing part. And the way that we start this is to start with a small white piece of paper. You're going to write your name and the day you have art, day A, day B, day C. You're going to flip it over, and you're going to take the small oval pattern, which is where we're going to place your face. And you're going to put it near the bottom. It doesn't have to be right at the very bottom. You can leave a little bit of empty space, like imagine a neck there. And then you're going to trace around it with your pencil. You don't need to push hard, and you're not going to trace over this part with marker. Then you're going to use your pencil to draw some sort of silly hair. So on my example here, I've kind of done more like a flame hair with points. You could do more of a swirly, curly hair. I think I'm going to do more of a spiked hair here. And it doesn't need to go all the way down to the shoulders. It can, but it doesn't have to. Then you're going to take your marker, and please use a marker that works, and you're going to carefully trace over your pencil lines. You're not going to trace over the oval. You don't need to do that. Just leave it in pencil. Now, once you have it outlined, then I want you to use complex pattern to fill in the hair. And you can do at least 4 different complex patterns, but I've had people that kind of focus on each part of the hair. I've had people that just kind of go across or diagonal. It can be really rigid and straight, almost like stripes, or you can do more free form and wavy. But complex patterns is not simple straight lines or stripes or zigzags or wavies. It's not one thing repeated over and over again. Even though sometimes you see that on this handout, you need to try to come up with some way to make it a little bit more complex. So it should be maybe something that you repeat over and over again, but like down here, we have ovals going one way and then ovals going another way. Lots of ideas in this handout. These last few pages kind of show you step by step how to do certain patterns. You can use those for help, whatever you can come up with. And you're going to repeat, and it's only a pattern if you repeat yourself. So I'd like to also see you color in about half of the pattern, 50-50. So let's see, I'm going to do these kind of look like fish scales. And I'm going to go ahead and just draw with marker because I've drawn a lot in many years drawing patterns. But if you think you're going to make a mistake, draw the pattern in pencil first. And that way, if you make a mistake, you can erase and fix it. Alright, so that's a complex pattern that repeats over and over again, and it is the same thing over and over again, but I've got some colored in, and it's not just the plain scales. I've added a thicker line within the plain scales, so to kind of change it up. And then I could add some diagonal lines to make it even more complex. Something that might save you some time is if you make sure when you're drawing your patterns you draw them fairly big. If you draw them super tiny, that's going to take you longer to complete than if you just kind of draw them medium to large. Hey!
Is it the one you're working on right now?
Huh?
Is it this one you're working on?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll clean off the black marker.
No, don't be in any rush to do
Yeah.
it. I just want to get a look at it because, yeah, that would be perfect. What I have right now is just one table, and I've got like
so 50% colored, so that's a lot of black and white, that's a lot of black and white, this is a lot of black. This has a lot of white in it, but I do have enough black in these other ones, so that's okay to go ahead and leave this one mostly white with a little bit of black. So now I just have one more pattern to do, and then I'll be finished up. So now you are ready to do the contour line of the color spectrum around the outer edge. So the color spectrum is the colors of the rainbow in their correct order: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. And you're going to put a placemat under your work because you're going to be working along the edge of the paper. So you're going to start with red. You're going to use the wide diagonal part of the marker to draw a wide line. You won't use the tip to do a skinny line. And you're just going to follow right along the edge of your hair. And this first line will be very much like the outer line, outline of your hair line. But as you work out towards the edge of your white paper, that line is going to gradually change. Then you'll go to orange. And then yellow. Now I'm starting to run off the edge of my paper, so this is why we have the placemat. And when you do yellow, you want to be careful not to drag the orange into the yellow as best as you can avoid it. And now that I'm at the end of the color spectrum, I start back over with red. Now this is the only place I have left to fill in, and I continue with the color spectrum. I don't get lazy and just color it in whatever color I want. Alright, and so there is my finished paper part of this assignment, and so now we'll start on the iPad to take some crazy selfies and place ourselves into our artwork.